Three teenage boys looking for trouble, big trouble.
Looks like you overshot the trash can, Zach.
Within moments, they surround someone's car, and they're trying to break in.
Can you break in? I think I almost got it, dude. You almost got it?
Yeah. And now they spray paint the car with graffiti. The car and the hidden cameras belong to us. We wanted to know if anyone would step in and try to stop a blatant act of vandalism in a suburban parking lot. But as you'll see, before our experiment is over, we'll get a lesson in human nature we could never have predicted. Our teenage vandals are loud and pretty brazen in broad daylight, yet people continue to walk right by. Do they think the boys are trashing their own car? Well, even when it becomes clear the car is not the boys, many keep right on going.
I hope that's your car.
Yeah, I'm spray painting my own car.
You being sarcastic?
Yeah.
This woman seems to be almost joking with the boys. Almost.
Don't do mine, please. I can't afford it. Please, don't do mine.
I promise I won't do yours.
The women keep on walking. Later, they told us they would have called the police. And how about this woman? Will she step up? She looks concerned. She's soon joined by another woman, but keep going. She says getting involved isn't worth the aggravation.
I have to say, there's times where I have been a witness to things and I've had to take off work and go to court.
I was horrified, but we did keep walking. I should have done something.
Indeed, our vandals have been at it for most of the morning, viciously destroying someone else's car. Dozens of people have walked by, yet only a handful have challenged them. But we're about to discover that if this kind of vandalism in broad daylight doesn't get much attention, something else does, something we could have never imagined. Remember, all that destruction by our vandals triggered just one 911 call. But it turns out two other calls were made to 911 from the same park.
911, where's the emergency?
In Richwood, New Jersey.
But those calls were about another car, parked nearby.
A couple guys in the car laying down, like they look like possibly they're getting ready to rob somebody.
Rob somebody? How does he know that? The caller hangs up, but a few moments later, he's back.
You got three black kids laying in the car, and there's a lot of little kids around. I'm just keeping an eye on them.
In fact, the young people in the car are just sleeping. They also just happen to be black. African Americans resting in a car trigger calls to 911. What'll happen when we replace the white vandals with three black actors? Will that make a difference? When What Would You Do comes back. To find out how people react to a blatant act of vandalism, we sent white teenagers, actors hired by us, to trash a car in broad daylight. And then we watched as dozens of people walked right by. As it turned out, there was just one call to 911. But at the same time, from the same park, 911 operators got two other emergency calls. And to our astonishment, those calls were not about our vandals, but about the young people in this car.
A couple guys in the car laying down, like they look like possibly they're getting ready to rob somebody.
The people in the car were African American, and they were just sleeping. We know because we invited them here. They're friends and relatives of another set of actors hired by us for the second part of our experiment. What'll happen if we change the race of those vandals? And if this group could trigger 911 calls just by dozing in their car, what'll happen when we send these black teenagers out to do some real damage? As she walks by the vandals, this woman is already on her cell phone.
Yeah, I'm at the Ridgewood Duck Pond, and by the walking path are in the group of 1, 2, 3 kids.
And right on her heels, this man, cell phone in hand.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, hi. I'm over in Ridgewood at the South River Park, Ridgewood Avenue.
Okay, people spray painting a car?
Yeah.
All right, you got it ready. We'll send it off.
This woman asks the boys what they're up to.
Yo, no, we ain't doing nothing, man. Just having fun, man.
While maintaining a safe distance, she also calls 911.
And there's kids that are beating up on a car. How many kids? 3 kids. Black or white? They all 3 look like they're just black. Black males? Yep.
Are you gonna walk away like nothing happened?
The police will be here.
Huh?
The police are coming.
All three were angered by the vandalism, but wary of confrontation.
Teenagers are kind of unpredictable.
They seemed like they weren't afraid of being caught.
I wasn't going to go especially right up to them because they had tools that could be used against me, and there's 3 of them and 1 of me.
The destruction continues, and it's clear that in this predominantly white suburb, our 3 African-American vandals are generating more interventions and more calls to 911 than the white vandals.
Neighbors pulling out the cell phones. One lady almost tripped, calling like, they're like, and I'm like,
they're here.
Yeah, they're here.
Hey, is that your car?
No? Is it yours?
No, but you shouldn't be doing that.
I felt outraged. How dare you come to our backyard and do something like that in the middle of the day in front of our kids? I don't care where you're from. I don't care what color you are. You're doing something illegal. And so immediately I decided to call the police.
Ridgewood Police, can I help you?
Yes, hi. There's actually 3 kids in the park, and they're vandalizing a car. They're actually painting the car, and they're trying to break in the door right now.
My husband was right to say that, what if those kids had a gun? And at that moment, honestly, I didn't think about that. The way I am, if I see something, I do something right away.
So what difference did it make when we changed the vandals' race? A total of 10 calls to 911 compared to 1 call when the vandals were white. And more people stepped in. By intervening or calling 911 on the black vandals, people are doing the right thing. But the white vandals were more likely to get a pass.
Obviously, what you guys were doing was wrong, and what the white kids were doing was wrong. But the reaction was not the same.
That's not the same. You know, they say, you know, treat people equally, but, you know, as you see, you know, it's really still going on, you know. There's many different types of racism.
We asked those who intervened, would you have acted any different?
I did notice they were African-American young boys who were in a white neighborhood, but if they had been white kids, I mean, we would have done exactly the same. I might have done it quicker.
I probably hesitated because they were black. I don't like to assume that 3 black kids are up to trouble.
But the response to their vandalism isn't what these young men will remember most about this experience. They'll remember that while the white actors were busy laying waste to that car, there were 2 911 calls reporting suspicious African Americans asleep in their car. The people in that car were actor Justin Chandler's family.
These kids are destroying this car and trying to break in. They're not even worried about it.
Meanwhile, they worried about Justin's family over
sleeping in the car.
Black.